Hey folks, this clip is brought to you by the fastest growing sports book in Tennessee, Zen Sports. Enter code A to Z TN, ATOZ TN to earn a welcome bonus that gives you 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting. That is Zen Sports.
Chaz Lanier is it kind of seems like the final big transfer. I'm sure there are other transfers out there that I just don't know about, but in terms of in Tennessee's orbit, he's the last big transfer out there and one of the last in kind of college basketball at large, at least for now. And Tennessee wants this kid badly. He is visiting BYU, sure, and Kentucky today, being Monday, and then he is visiting Tennessee on Tuesday. And I like that Tennessee has the last visit. I think that sets up nicely. Kentucky, you obviously with their new coach, you want to beat this guy out. I mean, the guy's never won an NCAA tournament game. You have a Hall of Fame coach. You got as deep a pockets as Kentucky, if not more so. It's time. I did read up on the whole BYU thing here just a little bit. And they have a new coach, Kevin Young, who was an assistant coach for the Phoenix Suns. He was actually the associate head coach for the Phoenix Suns. And then now got tapped as the head coach for old Brigham Young out there in Utah. And he apparently is selling his track record with Devin Booker at the Suns to this kid and saying, hey, I work with Devin Booker. He's an all-star. He's awesome. Yeah. And
I mean, couldn't Kentucky just say the same thing?
It's Kentucky and Devin Booker played there. They could say the exact same thing. And Tennessee, of course, could turn around and say, look right here at Dalton Connect. He was the transfer of the year, literally won awards, is going to be an NBA lottery pick. Say whatever you want to, give all the accolades that you can to Dalton Connect. It's the ultimate example of a transfer that Tennessee got. And so
I would just look at Chaz Lanier and be like, did you watch the Suns this year and how unfun a team with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker was? There was a terrible team to watch. There was bad vibes, real bad vibes in Phoenix this past season. It was not good. So,
oh yeah, the vibes were not there, and you could tell. And they did nothing this season.
I don't think we're too worried about BYU in this one. I wouldn't think. I don't see them driving the price up either. Because ultimately, it sounds like that might be what it comes down to. I mean, who knows with
maybe
the NIL stuff? Things are all over the place. You hear one thing, you hear another thing. You never really know, and it's kind of in the shadows, and it's all speculation and hearsay. But if it comes down to a bidding war, I mean, Kentucky's desperate. They got to make a splash. Mark Pope, I don't care if you went to Kentucky. I don't care if you just got hired. The honeymoon periods don't last as long as they used to, especially with the transfer portal, because now you can rebuild a roster really, really quick. But it takes money, and they might be willing to throw out a little more cash than Tennessee. And I would get that. I would understand that, because if you're Rick Barnes, you have to manage the players you have. And then you have to make sure that you're not disrupting that. It's kind of like Josh Heupel with the football team. You have to be real cautious about who you're bringing in, not mess up the vibes. All that has to be there. But at the same time, if you're Chaz Lanier, you just went through the G League camp. You didn't get the combine invite. So it's not like you're an auto NBA guy. And I really think you got to take less money and go to the program that just sent Dalton Connect likely to the NBA draft lottery. I mean, he's going to be a top 15 pick at minimum.
It's football season, and it's time to switch to Zen Sports, the fastest growing sports book in Tennessee, changing the bonus game with their cash rewards program. When you sign up for Zen Sports with code A to Z TN, ATOZTN, earn a welcome bonus that gives you 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting. And if you have friends who bet on sports, share your Zen Sports referral bonus code with them, and you will earn 3% of their betting volume for their first 6 months of betting on Zen Sports with no cap on how much you can earn. So what are you waiting for? Stop wasting time and money on other sports books when you could be earning real cash rewards with Zen Sports. Download today on the App Store at zensports.com and your wallet will thank you later. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older in Tennessee to bet. That is Zen Sports. Go download it now.
Why would you not go there to Tennessee? Because that's what matters. I mean, you want to be a first-round draft pick. You want to have a chance at some real money there in the NBA, not a one-time NIL deal that, we were kind of talking about before the show. Some of these deals are the details are so sketchy that it might not be $1 million. It might be $200,000 you're getting in cash and maybe $800,000, a house, car, things that are valued at that you use temporarily. So all that has to be in consideration. Play the long game here. Don't play the short game.
100%. I do think you open yourself up to a situation like what happened last year. You got that transfer from Harvard last year, if you remember, and Connect. The kid from Harvard ended up seeing the situation and transferred again. Pulled a Wesley Walker, transferring
Tyler Barron,
14
Walker,
times.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a possibility if you bring in Lanier. But look at what happened. Connect came in, the kid from Harvard transferred out, and you made the Elite Eight and had one of the best seasons of program history. So, hey, it's kind of neither here nor there. The roster is going to come together, even if Lanier doesn't come. I think Tennessee's going to have a really good basketball team, but you definitely want this kid, and I think it's pretty obvious that you have the best sales pitch outside of the money. Hey, maybe Kentucky does get desperate, throw a giant check at this kid. Who knows? But hopefully a decision comes fairly quickly. You would
before August, hopefully.
Surely,
come on, do this. Seriously, it should be in the next. You would think after that last visit, not long after that,
weekish or so.
Yeah.
Surely, maybe by next weekend. I don't know. But you would hope that the decision comes down. And maybe by next week, we'll be able to talk about Chaz Lanier, brand new Tennessee Volunteer. Or conversely, we'll be talking about the finalized-ish roster without him at Tennessee. I mean, if I had to guess right now, I think he chooses Tennessee. It's so hard to say with the money being such a rogue factor.
You sound pretty confident. I'm gonna quote you in an article on that. And just Charlie Burr says this is happening. It's
very confident.
You just never know with the NIL stuff. I mean, if this was a couple years ago and the kid was transferring and immediately eligible, you'd think it's a slam dunk considering the situation. Of course, on the flip side, there's no slam dunk that he's going to be, 2/3 of Dalton Connect. You can't expect anybody to go do what Dalton Connect did this season. If so, that's great. Like, we'll take it every single time. But he could end up being a bust. He could go to Tennessee and it not work out at all. I mean, it could just be a bad fit, and it's not like the Dalton Connect story at all. So, I mean, it's even on that end of it, it's all kind of a gamble.
I mean, I said it all year. The coaching staff didn't know what they had in Dalton Connect when they got Dalton Connect as transfer. They didn't know he was going to be that good. Rick Barnes got quoted as saying when Dalton laid down that giant dunk at Michigan State in that exhibition game, he was as surprised as anybody. And just saying like, oh, okay, so this is how this kid is going to play. And
he did. It wasn't just like a one-time, flash in an exhibition game.
And there's always that factor. And it was a story all season long that he was just absolute gym rat, worked like a dog. And that's such a huge factor too, because you could see his defense get better over the course of the season on top of him being such a serious offensive factor. And there's that too, and you don't know how any of these kids are going to work between it's Milicic, Dubar, Darlinstone Dubar,
and
Akpara from Ohio State. I think it comes together with that set of guys, but who exactly is the standout as the star there? You would think Lanier from the stats that he was putting up, but we'll see.